episode 4115, Defeat is Just a Mindset.
Moms, it's time to rediscover, rejuvenate, and renew who you are in mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie, the show to help you do just that. Here's your host, certified life coach, personal trainer, and nutritionist, Christiane Wargo.
Happy day. I hope you're ready for an extraordinary week because it is a brand new week. It's coming off of a holiday weekend, and oh my goodness, has it been a whirlwind. I'm sure you're coming off of those barbecues and enjoying those hamburgers and hot dogs. Well, now it's time to get back in the game of life. Defeat is just a mindset. For those of you who are brand new to Create Your Now, welcome to this incredible family. I'm so delighted of your presence. If you already had the opportunity, you want to head on over to createyournow.com where you can learn more and sign up for the Kisses newsletter, the Keep It Simple strategy, everyday solutions to live, love, and impact. Well, this episode is brought to you by AIM, Inspiring Connection and Community. You know, failure and defeat are not the same thing, though we treat them like twins. But they're not, yet we do. And how confusing is it? It's no wonder we get stuck and we stay somewhere where we don't really want to be. You see, failure is an event. It happened. It's done. It's a fact you can point to on a timeline. A match lost, a deal that fell through, a goal that didn't land. It just didn't happen, right? Whatever it is. Defeat, though, is something entirely different. Defeat is not what happened to you. It's what you decide to do or not do afterward. It's less of an event and more a mindset. And mindsets, unlike result, are chosen. Defeat is just a mindset. And this is the part that people miss because nobody hands you defeat, right? But we feel defeated and we get stuck in that. And then the next thing you know, we think it's all about the failure when really it's not. It's more about the defeat and the feeling of. You're not defeated the moment you lose. You're defeated the moment you stop moving. Defeat is not the scoreboard. Defeat is what sets in when the scoreboard is over and you decide, consciously or not, that you're not getting back up. You're going to stay where it is. My friend, defeat is the silence after the setback, where you had a chance to act, but instead you chose stillness. How do you see defeat? How do you see failure? That's why two people can experience the exact same failure and walk away with completely different outcomes. One treats the loss as information and starts working the next day. Another treats it as a life sentence and never returns to the court, the stage, or the opportunity at all. Same failure. Only one of them, though, is actually defeated. And it wasn't the failure that put them there. It was the absence of a next move. That next step. Are you getting back up or are you staying down? King Solomon captured this distinction, 3,000 some years ago. For though a righteous man falls 7 times, he rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. That's Proverbs 24, verse 16. Now, look closely at what separates the two people in that verse. Right? It isn't the one who falls and the other doesn't. They both encounter hardship. You see, the righteous person falls 7 times, same as anyone. The difference is entirely in what happens next. One rises and the other stumbles and stays down. Solomon isn't describing 2 different levels of misfortune. He's describing 2 different responses to the same kind of setback. And only one of those responses is defeat. Probably has your head scratching a little bit, right? I mean, you're like, It's the, And I want you to think about it because I have enjoyed some great, incredible sports this weekend. I don't know about you. I mean, you've got the World Cup, right? You've got Wimbledon, you've got basketball, you've got baseball. I mean, you name it, it's out there. You got golf. It's incredible. It's great things. The highlight reels that I see on sports centers and things like that, it's like, okay, I missed that part. I got to go find that. And I want to see that particular play. I've been watching a lot of Wimbledon lately. And when I look at Wimbledon, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is going to be incredible. And then it's like, oh, not so much. What is it in your life? Do you see failure as, oh, it's incredible and keep going? Or failure as, oh, not so much? You see, the real question isn't how do I avoid falling down? Because guess what? We all fall. You can't avoid it. It's going to happen. The real question is, how do you make sure that when failure comes, and it will, pounding at your door, you don't hand it the extra power of turning into defeat? You take aim. That is your Kiss to Keep It Simple strategy. Take aim. Action ignites motivation. It's all about moving forward. And with motivation, you keep the momentum going forward. It's the forward motion. And then you don't have time to back down or walk away because you're in motion, going the right way. But when you stay down, when you stay stuck, when you say, oh, this happened again, I don't know if I can do it. It's the, oh, woe's me. I'm not good enough. It's the mindset. It's the stories that you're telling yourself, the lies that you repeat. And it's hard. It's hard to get out of that, but you can, because guess what? Defeat is a decision to stay down, to back away, to not continue forward. Now, that doesn't mean it's a decision when you fail and you say, nope, this is not meant to be, and I know I'm going to go in a different direction. That's moving forward, okay? That's not staying stuck. It's when you stay stuck and you're like, okay, I'm going to sit here for a few, not just hours, weeks, months, maybe years into decades. Think back. What have you held on to? Okay, so take a ride with me here. We're going to go on the backwards train. My grandson loves trains, so we're going to use that. I like going on trains too. They're fun. I think it'd be great to take a full train trip somewhere. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. But we're going to take a train trip now. And I want you to go back. Go back to high school. Go back to college. Somewhere way back when, where you failed and it really stung. Maybe you were trying out for Team A, right, for varsity, and they said, nope, you're not good enough. And you didn't get JV. You got second JV. You're like, yeah, no. Maybe it was something where you were auditioning for something and you got second string instead of first string. What about you're like, okay, well, I want to be on this team, and you made the team, but you really made the practice squad, and you're still trying to make the team. Maybe you tried for a position in your career, and you're like, okay, I'm jumping up. I've got everything done. But you're like, yeah, no, it didn't work. And so now you're staying right where you are, even though you know that there's another position open. It's not the same of where you wanted to go, but you're not willing to try it. And you stay there. Too many times we choose, okay? We choose defeat. We say, that's it, I'm done. Really? If you really are that done, maybe you should retire. Like, seriously. No more. Don't do anything. Stop whatever you were doing before. Do the bare minimum and go on with your life. Don't try to reach for anything better. But you see, here's the secret that I don't think you realize about yourself. You want more out of life, or you wouldn't be here, right? You're a woman of impact. I'm pressing ahead, creating transformation, not just for me, but for the world that I touch. And that's incredible. But you see, if you stop moving forward, if you get hung up on what is not working, or hung up on somebody else's comments or thoughts about you that have been shared or you've heard or you've seen on a highlight reel or read in whatever it is, maybe you just thought you heard somebody whispering about you when you went to work or at church or standing in a grocery line, and somebody just happened to look over and it looked like they were motioning about you. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I knew I shouldn't have worn this outfit, right? We've had those moments, and then all of a sudden that outfit is the last thing you'll ever wear. You put it in the back corner because you're like, oh, they were talking about me. I just know they were. And maybe it had nothing to do with you, but for some reason, already you've accepted that, oh, I failed. I didn't dress right. And so now I'm less than. And so you take that, you own it as defeat. You choose to say, this doesn't work. Hang it up. Who cares if they didn't like the outfit or not? It doesn't matter. And you don't even know that because they didn't say anything to you, right? A lot of times we just work ourselves up for the wrong reasons. Defeat is a decision that you make. It's a choice that you say, I don't want to move forward. But remember I told you there was a special secret? You actually do want to move forward. And it's time to do that. So what does it look like to take aim in real life when it comes to defeat? Number 1, refuse to let the failure write your identity. The first move is the hardest and the most important, right? You have to catch yourself the moment you start turning a result into a verdict, because that's the exact moment defeat starts to take root. So you got to say, okay, wait, where am I headed with this? What am I doing? Get in the right game. You don't want to play the game of defeat. You want to play the game of life. And there's a world of difference between saying, I lost, and saying, I'm a loser. All right, have you ever heard your kids say that? Oh my goodness. I don't care what the age is. I don't care if they're 2. I don't care if they are 92. No one should be saying that, okay? One is a sentence describing something that happened. The other is a decision. A quiet, often unconscious one, though, that really signals the result that's defining you of going forward. So I'm lost versus I'm a loser. Which one would you rather say? Nobody defeats you with that thought but you. The opponent, the circumstance, the setback, it only supplies the failure. You supply the meaning you attach to it. And defeat is simply the meaning that says, this is who I am now. So refuse to let the failure write your identity. Basketball coach John Wooden put it simply, failure is not fatal, but failure to change might be. Okay, let that sink in for a minute, because there's a lot there. I know it doesn't seem like a lot of words, but failure is not fatal. It's not the end of the world, but failure to change might be. So he's not talking about the failure itself, right? Being dangerous. It's not dangerous. He's saying the danger is in what you do or refuse to do afterward. What follows? Is it forward motion, or is it all hands on deck? I'm not moving. Like no more. The failure itself is neutral. Defeat is the choice to let it stay in charge. So ask yourself, when you have a setback, am I processing a result, or am I already writing a story about who I am because of it? Right? Catching that story early is what keeps a bad day from becoming a chosen identity. You can live in your failures and be known for your failures if you choose to let your identity become that. But that's your doing. It's nobody else's. It's a choice. Failure is merely, this is what happened, right? It's that pinpoint on a timeline. But after that, it becomes defeat. And if you're hanging on to that, we're in a very dangerous territory, okay? So you got to be aware of that. Refuse to let failure write your identity. Number 2, trade rumination, I love that word, for reflection fast. You got to do it fast, very, very fast. In fact, I like the word reflection, but I was like, okay, I want to do a loop-de-loop. And what's a loop-de-loop? Well, I don't want to tell you it's all about your loop-de-loops, because you're going to think I'm loopy. Seriously. But now you remember it because I'm telling you this. But I like the double R, right? Rumination for reflection. You want to have reflection instead. Once you've caught yourself before the identity spiral, there's a second trap waiting, and that's staying in the moment of loss so long that you never actually move past it. It's holding on to, this is mine. I can't let go. No, it's not. Let it go. And this is where defeat, though, quietly builds its case, right? Not through one dramatic decision, but through days and weeks of replaying the same failure without ever converting it into anything useful. It's this, I am not good enough. Oh, woe is me. No, you're better than that. You are good enough. It just happens to be that, oh, you had a fail. That's okay. I had one probably 2 minutes ago in this episode, which I will have to edit out. And it's probably just one extra word that I added in or whatever. Or I didn't have a knot and it should have had a knot, right? Those things. But does that make me less than? No. It's I stand up, pick myself back up, brush myself off, know that I have to do this, make the change, and move forward. Because if I got stuck, I'm serious. I mean, listen here. If I got stuck with every oopsie that I did here, and I'm sure there's been some that I have no idea. I'm human. I make mistakes. And so I'll make notes as to, okay, I don't like that gap there, or I want something else here. The thing is this, it's important to know where your mistakes are. But even if you don't see them and they come later, don't hang out with them. Your failures are not your friends, right? Your failures are an opportunity for forward motion. And that all comes to trading rumination for reflection. Now, rumination and reflection might look a little similar from the outside. Both involve thinking about what went wrong, but rumination loops, right? It's the loopy loop. That's what I told you. It plays the pain without producing a plan. Reflection, however, asks a pointed question and moves on. It moves forward. What is this actually showing me, right? One keeps you circling the setback. The other treats a setback as a checkpoint you pass through, right? You want to go past and collect your $200, right? That's what you want to do. Thomas Edison, after thousands of failed attempts at the light bulb, reportedly said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. If we all could just say that, right? And that's a man who refused to sit in the failure long enough for it to calcify into defeat, for it to solidify, for it to say, you can't do it. You're not worth it. Don't do it. You failed. I mean, come on. What if it was that 10,001 time that it took to get it and he got stuck at 9,999 times? And then what if he could see into the future later and saw what he missed by going just 2 more times, one a failure and one finally in the, yes, I did it. But you see, Thomas Edison was like, I can extract the lesson quickly. I can learn from this, make some adjustments, and keep moving forward because he understood that lingering, not the failure itself, was the real threat. Staying caught in the, I'm not going to do anything right now because I'm not good enough. This is not fun. The Apostle Paul modeled the same urgency. Brothers, I do not consider that I have made it my own, but one thing I do, forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead. Philippians 3, verse 13. Notice the pace of that verse, right? It doesn't say, eventually I'll move on. It says one thing, forward. My friend, defeat thrives in delay. Did you hear me? That means you're going to stay stuck. Defeat thrives in delay. That means that, maybe today you're still not good enough. Defeat thrives in delay. Oh, woe's me. Defeat thrives in delay. Fill in your own blank as to what you keep telling yourself. I'm not good enough. What is it? The longer you stay parked in that failure, the more time it has to convince you to stay there permanently. Go back to that thought you had about 10 minutes ago when I said go back to high school or college when you didn't make something. Did you actually learn a lesson from that? Or did you hold on to the sting and make a decision that maybe actually didn't move you forward? Now, understand this. Don't beat yourself up if that was a choice. You didn't know any better then, right? Now you get to learn as we get older. That's called maturity. That's called wisdom. That's God stretching us. So we get to make a choice as we grow older, right? In how we structure our families, how we structure our individual lives, how we give to others, how we show up for other people. If we're always one who is trying to convince us that, I just can't do it. Oh, woe's me. And you know the people, you have them in your life. I know you do if it's not you. Now, we all have those moments ourselves, but sometimes we have more people in our lives like that than ourselves. Either way, you can see it, call it out, know it, recognize it, because you don't want to let defeat thrive in any more delays, right? You want to keep moving forward. So trade rumination for reflection. And finally, number 3, act, because inaction is defeat's actual definition. Here's the part worth saying plainly. If defeat is a mindset, it is specifically the mindset that stops taking action. My friend, you are not defeated by the loss. You are defeated by what you do not do after it. Every day you fail to take the next step is a vote for staying down, whether or not you'd ever admit that that's what you're doing. Because you'll come up with another excuse to say, I just whatever. I got housework to do, or I got to go do this, or I take the kids here, or I got to go run errands. There's something that will fill your time even. But it's still one that you're saying, yeah, I'm just going to stay down. It's all right. No, it's not all right. It's time to take aim. Action ignites motivation. This is where most people quietly lose without ever losing again, right? They'll think about the setback. They'll talk about it. They'll even understand exactly what went wrong and never actually take the next step. Not because they lack insight, but because taking the next step feels riskier than staying still. Why? Because we could handle a failure. We've adopted it as our own. And it's like, I kind of feel comfortable here. No, you don't. No, you don't. Get up. Rise up. That stillness feels safe. Yes, I get it, but it isn't. It's just defeat wearing a slower disguise. Theodore Roosevelt captured the difference between the two paths in his Man in the Arena speech. And he says, it is not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Notice the man in the arena might fall again. But Roosevelt isn't promising a win at all. He's drawn the line between the person still in motion and the person who's opted out entirely. Only one of them can be called defeated, and it's not the one still swinging. It's not the one in the arena. The step back in doesn't have to be dramatic. Show up to the next practice. Send the next application, whatever it is. Have the hard conversation you avoided the first time. If you're trying for that career push, guess what? Try again when it's available. The size of the step matters far less than the fact that it exists. You're in motion. A small action keeps you in the category of still rising. No action, no matter how understandable the reasons, is what quietly slides you into the category of defeated. But you see, you still can have a comeback from the setback. We all know that nobody gets to skip a failure. It comes for everyone, right? The prepared and the unprepared, the confident and the anxious, the champion and the rookie. But defeat isn't universal in the same way. Defeat is optional because defeat is not the failure. It's the decision to stop after it. So catch the story you're telling yourself when it comes to, number one, your identity and where defeat fits in, and if you're letting defeat define you versus failure. There's a big difference. Trade the rumination for a quick, honest reflection instead of camping out in the pain. Yeah, maybe you still want the attention, but is it really worth that? And above all, act. Take aim, because the moment you stop moving is the moment defeat actually begins, not the moment you lost, right? Don't feed the weeds. Do those 3 things and you'll find that the sting of the setback never had the power on its own. It didn't, and it doesn't, right? So if you're sitting here looking at something risky, you're like, risky as in I might fail. That's what I mean. Not in, pertaining to money or all of that. I'm not saying that. I'm not attaching monetary stuff here. I'm talking about where you are headed, okay? The risk is you might fail, okay? And that risk, when we fail, we know what it feels like, right? As an ice skater for me, man, when I was learning new jumps, I'm like, okay, the axel, great. Single, it was good. I got it. But then the double axel, I was like, oh no. No. I'm like, that fall is a long way down. And it hurts when you fall. And then the older you get, it's like, ow, I don't want to do it again. So we already set ourselves up expecting a certain feeling, right? That becomes a risk. You've got to be willing to say, I'm going to move forward. I'm ready to be in the game of life, not the game of defeat. I don't accept defeat. I can reflect and learn and move forward. And that's when your setback becomes your greatest comeback. Go in peace. Be present. Be incredible. Be you. I love you so very much. I cannot wait to see you on the other side. Blessings, hugs, and lots and lots of love. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a glorious, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Feeling inspired, ready to train for life and love your journey? Visit createyournow.com for more incredible resources to help you along the way. We'll see you next time on Create Your Now, Your Best Selfie. And remember, always be sure you consult your physician before beginning any health and fitness plan.